If you could be anyone you choose to be, who would you want to be?
Probably.
You.
Myself.
Club president, fellow Toastmasters, fellow leaders. For a very long time, the one person I always wanted to be was a more charismatic version of myself, my future self. And I've always dreamed of one day being a charismatic leader in a charismatic organization where we serve many charismatic people. And that led me to choose my profession of choice to be a charisma coach. Today, I'm very excited to be sharing with all of you on this topic, the charismatic leader, or rather charismatic leadership. How do you lead with charisma? Let's talk about charismatic leadership. I want to show you the quote here. Charisma is the transference of enthusiasm. For many, many years, even during ancient times, this quality, charisma, has always been associated with people who you would think are blessed with a certain divine quality. They can influence because they are gifted. It's like they are divinely gifted by the God. Right? That's why the word Christianity is very much related to charisma. Right? It's a Latin word. So, in today's context, that's not so much applicable. Because as more of the researchers do studies, they realize that charisma is not so much a divine quality that is bestowed only to a lucky few, but it is instead a set of behaviors that you can learn to become charismatic. And if you look at this quote, charisma is the transference of enthusiasm, I 100% agree with this. How many of you also agree with this? Yes? Alright, very good. So when it comes to charisma, charisma is simply transferring your enthusiasm to your audience. But what if you got no enthusiasm? Can you still be charismatic?
Can.
As a leader, you have to be enthusiastic about something. It could be the vision that you want to achieve. It could be your people. It could be the product or the specific project that you are embarking on. It could be the philosophy that you are espousing. Whatever it is, you have to be enthusiastic about something. You have to have energy about something. You yourself need to have that high level of energy. Because if you don't have that enthusiasm, it's very difficult for you to transfer anything to anyone. And that is the essence of charismatic leadership. So at this point, I want to just poll the audience, any one of you. Give me some examples of charismatic leaders. Shout me some names. Who are some charismatic leaders? Obama, yes. Lee Kuan Yew, very good. Gandhi, all right. Hitler, very good. Okay, Hitler. Yes. All right, who else? Stalin, Trump. Okay, what do you notice so far? Right, you notice that this side of the room follow dictators. This side of the room is more the good, more ethical leaders, right? So you realize something. You realize that charismatic leaders, it does not matter what philosophy you have, or what political beliefs you have, or even your ethical values, or even your moral values. Charisma is something that anyone can learn. Hopefully, the ones who learn charisma are the good people. So that is also part of my vision. I want to train as many good people as possible to be charismatic. If there are no good people who step up to be charismatic leaders, what will happen? The unethical charismatic people will step up. Alright? And that's where the world is in danger. So this workshop depends on you. Alright? Let's take a look at this. Why be a charismatic leader? Why? Shout out to me. Why do you want to be a charismatic leader? Or why even want to be a charismatic leader? Performance?
Make more money.
Make more money. Very good.
Able to influence.
Able to influence. Okay, what else?
Connection.
People management.
Good people management, connection. Okay, stand up. All right. So why be a charismatic leader? I would feel that there are three main benefits. All right. All of these are valid. In fact, you must know what your reasons are to not just be a charismatic leader, but to be a leader in general. The first one is, as a charismatic leader, you are the kind of leader people love. They look up to, they respect, and most importantly, they want to follow you. Because you are a charismatic leader. You are someone who they look up to. Alright? Instead of this person who may be an a-hole, or this person who may lack confidence, you want to follow somebody who exudes charisma. Because you trust these people. Alright? So you become the kind of leader that people want to follow. Next, get promoted, make more money. Alright, be recognized as a highly valuable asset in your organization and your industry. Not just your company, right? Your company, if you're a charismatic leader, they want to keep you. The competitor companies also want to have you. Alright, that is the magic of charisma. As a leader, you are the ones who are in the spotlight. So definitely eyes are on you, the public's eyes are on you. You are in a position of influence. So companies would want to retain someone like you. Finally, be an inspiration and leave a lasting impact on others' lives. So I look like 2 years, right? Leave a lasting impact on people's lives. Be an inspiration. If you're a charismatic leader, people look up to you, people invite you to speak, people want you to tell your story, you get invited to to be a panelist at events and conferences. Right? There are a lot of opportunities if you are a charismatic leader. Why wouldn't you want to be? Let's take a look at some leadership styles. There are many leadership styles out there. If you are on the current Toastmaster program, and if you come to understanding your leadership style, you will learn a number of leadership styles. But for today, I'm going to be focusing on only 4 very simple ones. Okay. First is the autocratic style. All right, the dictator style. Influence based on fear and control. Alright? A. And then we move to B. Bureaucratic style. What's the difference? Right? Bureaucratic leadership is influence based on hierarchy, structure, rank, title. Okay? You follow these people simply because they are higher level than you. They are your manager. So they are bureaucratic leaders. Doesn't mean they have charisma. Doesn't mean you like them. Doesn't mean they are necessarily dictators as well. Right? But simply, within the structure, you are following them. Okay, so hierarchy, influence based on hierarchy and structure. And then we come to C, of course, charismatic leadership. What's the difference? Charismatic leadership is influence based on vision, character. We'll move on to the differences, deeper into the differences in the next few slides. Finally, D, democratic leadership. Okay, supposedly the more common form of leadership you see here today, right? Influence based on consensus, participation, engagement. All right, leadership based on majority vote. Is majority vote the best way of leadership? Not always, right? In fact, even charismatic leadership is not the best kind of leadership for all situations. Certain situations, yes. What kind of situations would it be useful to have charismatic leadership? What kind of situations?
Toastmasters.
Toastmasters. Very good.
When you are new to some organization, you
Okay.
want to have your impact.
Alright, when you're new, okay, so in this case, if you are a new employee, right, you want to stand out and be a charismatic leader. Okay, good.
Yes.
Very good. Alright, so charismatic leadership is particularly good in places where there are a lot of uncertainty, where things are not really certain, there's some turmoil, nobody knows what to do. From the ashes rises a charismatic leader. Ah. And then you look up to him, oh. Then the charismatic leader says, I know the way. This will be the vision. Follow me. Trust me, I know what I'm doing. Everybody's like, oh, okay. Right? So you notice that charismatic leadership generally is very common in places where it's difficult times. Right? especially in difficult times or difficult places, people tend to fall, or people tend to want to follow charismatic leaders. However, in peace times or in good times, charismatic leaders can also shine, right? Because when people are comfortable, they take things for granted, people want change. People are sick of the old ways. They want a new leader to come in, leaders that they believe in, because they are tired of the current leadership. That's where you can come in, right? If you have that brand of charisma or charismatic leadership, okay? So, what makes charismatic leadership different from the other styles? If we were to compare charismatic leadership to autocratic leadership, autocratic is based on control, ownership, fear, right? You don't want to let go of control. Usually it's mixed with a little bit of penalty, punishment, okay, structure, hierarchy as well. All right, the system is in place for you to follow and obey without question. All right, autocratic leadership. Some marriages are autocratic leaderships as well, right? But we will not go into that. Autocratic leadership compared to charismatic leadership is different. It's the opposite, rather. Charismatic leadership is based on connection, empathy, and understanding. Because as a charismatic leader, you want to understand the needs, desires, wants, the dreams, the fears, the beliefs of your followers. That's what charismatic leadership is all about. Charismatic leadership is about connection. It's about building that engagement with people. Okay, so it's not so much about fear. What about bureaucratic leadership? It's lead by hierarchy, rank, title. And you find that for bureaucratic leaders, leadership is usually bound by their job scope. Alright, they don't go out of their department, they don't go out necessarily of their office to go and mingle with other departments or intra-departments as well. But charismatic leadership, you compare that, it's leading by character, your own character. And being a role model regardless of your role. So you can also be a charismatic leader to people who you don't serve, and they can still look up to you. Right? People in the opposite block, in the same company, they also look up to you, they know you by name. Right? They would rather have you on their team rather than their leader. Okay? That's the power of charismatic leadership. You become quite influential in your company. Finally, comparing it to democratic leadership. Democratic is decision making via collaboration majority. Right? When all the votes are cast, everyone's views are heard, then you make a decision. Generally, this participative form of leadership takes time. And it's not easy if everyone doesn't get along. Okay? It's not easy if everyone doesn't get along. However, that's where charismatic leadership can come in. Because charismatic leadership, you sort of refer to your leader for guidance, and your leader will be influencing you to come on board, right? And finding a way to match your needs to the vision. Okay? And if, let's say, that's done, if there is unity in vision, there's unity in the company, unity in the team, it's much more faster to make decisions. Things get done, right? And people want to follow you. Okay? So that's the main difference. Now, there are three characteristics of charismatic leaders. This, and this. You want to know what they are?
Yes.
Let's take a look at the first one. The first one, what do you think that? What do you think that is?
Finding solutions.
Okay, vision, finding solutions, looking out the window,
Power.
being introspective and depressed. Okay? Vision, compelling vision, not just any vision, compelling vision. First characteristic of charismatic leaders is they have a clear and compelling vision that is inspiring to their followers. Alright, inspiring to their followers. So this vision has to be clear and compelling. Not just compelling, inspiring. Clear is very simple. Alright, you can see it, and it's very easily articulated. That's what it means by clear. Compelling. What does compelling mean? What does compelling mean?
Appealing.
Appealing. Okay. What does compelling mean?
Persuasive.
Persuasive. Alright. Compelling means it's hard to say no. Compelling means it's hard to say no to this vision. You're like, I also feel drawn to it. Okay, because it's so good, right? And it's something that I've always dreamed that I wanted as well. Compelling, right? And not just that, inspiring as well. What does inspiring mean? Inspiring means that it invokes some sort of emotion, all right? And that also promises transformation, change. Okay? So, let's take a look at some iconic visions, all right? Can you guess who said this? A computer on every desk in every home. Who said this?
Bill Gates.
Steve Jobs or Bill Gates?
Bill Gates.
Steve Jobs or Bill Gates? How many of you say Bill Gates? How many of you say Steve Jobs? Okay. Now you know who's Team Apple, Team Microsoft. Who uses Mac, who uses PC. Okay. Steve Jobs would have said a Mac on every desk, right? So Bill Gates. Okay, so this was a dream by Bill Gates. It was a vision that was set by Bill Gates. He was the one who said, let's put a computer on every desk and every home. Can you imagine that? Yes, very easy to imagine, right? But at that time, it was difficult. Only he could see it. And only the ones who follow him can see it. But it was compelling, right? Today, we are living it. We also have computers on everybody's desk.
In every pocket.
In every pocket. On every pen, right? So, 1,000 songs in your pocket. Who said this? Who said this?
This is no the
iTunes? Who thinks it's Steve Jobs? Okay. Yes, it's Steve Jobs, right? So 1,000 songs in your pocket was the vision or the slogan when he first revealed the iPod. The iPod. Alright? Back then everybody, remember you used to use your MP3 player like this size? Right? Or use your Walkman. And even further than that is boombox. Right? Then you carry. Then put down, press play, then dance. Then finish dancing, have to carry back. Right? 1,000 songs in your pocket. Back then, it was unheard of. Unheard of, right? Back then, 5 gigs was a lot. A lot. And that was what they were promising, 5 gigs. Okay? 1,000 songs in your pocket. Can you imagine that? Yes, right? Who said this? A world where children are not judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. Who said this? What's his name? Martin Luther King Jr. Right? I have a
dream.
I have a dream. Okay, I have a dream. When he said I have a dream, what he's really saying is I have a compelling vision. Do you see my vision? That is what I have a dream is all about. So what is his dream? This is his dream, right? A world where children are not judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character, right? Racial discrimination. Okay? The happiest place on earth.
Walt Disney.
Walt Disney.
Who said this? Walt Disney? Okay. The happiest place on earth. Walt Disney said it. Okay. What was he describing?
Disneyland.
Okay. What was he describing? Disneyland. Yes. Right. So when he dreamed up Disneyland, or that was his vision, he said this place is going to be the happiest place on earth. Let's build it together. How are we going to build this? Okay. Last one. Closer to home. A garden city. Who said this?
Lee Kuan Yew.
Who said this? Okay. Garden city. Lee Kuan Yew. Right? Lee Kuan Yew said this. This was also a compelling vision. This was also a dream that Lee Kuan Yew had, but he couldn't have done it alone. Good thing was, he was a very charismatic leader. So with his charisma, it was much easier for him to move things together, pull the kind of A-level team, the A team that he needed, because he had that charisma. And he stood his ground. He said, no matter what, we will build this, whatever it is, into a garden city. Right? Back then, Singapore wasn't much. Okay? But he raised it. And until today, we became one of the most prosperous cities in Asia. Right? Garden city. What stood out? Garden. Okay? Back then, or rather, generally in the concept of a city, you wouldn't think to have plants or gardens, right? Gardens is usually in the country, all right? But he was able to merge those two elements to form a vision, and that was what made it powerful, unique. I would love to stay in a garden city. Thank God I'm born in it. Okay, thanks to Lee Kuan Yew's vision. So how do you craft a compelling vision? How do you craft a compelling vision? Here are 3 ingredients. Okay, so pay attention. If you're a leader or you want to be a charismatic leader, you must know these 3 things. Or you must run through your vision through these 3. Okay? Future presidents, please take note. Okay, please take note. First, visual. It has to be visual. Is it a picture you can clearly see in your mind? Right? At the end of the day, vision is what? Your eyes, what you can see. So vision is something that is seen. If you can see it, you believe it, you can achieve it. Right? And it goes the same for your team as well. They must be able to see it. If your vision is not clear, you cannot see it, but you just use a bunch of buzzwords. Alright? And it's not very compelling. Okay? So generally, companies need to have vision statements, right? Vision statements. Vision statements are not visions, sadly. Okay, vision statements are not statements. Usually it's like to be the #1 company in the oil and gas industry and be the most revolutionary. Now, what does that mean? When you say like the most revolutionary country or the company or the #1 company in Southeast Asia that is at the spearhead of innovation, right? Can't see what is happening there, right? If everybody has a different picture, that means your vision is not clear. Okay, so you need to have a visual component. Next, it has to be simple, easy to grasp. Okay, easy to grasp. Is it concise, simple to articulate, simple to understand? Okay, Garden City, very simple. Happiest place on earth, very simple. 1,000 songs in your pocket, very simple. A computer on every desk, very simple. Okay, so is it concise, simple to articulate and understand, and most importantly, easy to repeat? Because if it's concise, it's easily repeated. Okay, finally, relevant. Is your vision relevant? Is it something that your team or your followers or your people want? Is it something they want? Because if it's something that they don't want, or it's not relevant, or it's just more work for them, then it's not compelling anymore. Okay? So it has to be relevant enough for your audience to want it. Okay? It has to be relevant enough for your audience to want it. So what are the 3 ingredients to craft a compelling vision? What's the first one? Visual. What's the second one? Simple. Third one? Relevant. Very good. Okay? So that is the first, compelling vision. How many of you want to know what is the next 2? Alright. Unfortunately, we are out of time. So if you want to know what is the other 2 characteristics of charismatic leaders, and you want to be a charismatic leader yourself, come join me in my masterclass. Come join me in my masterclass, the Charismatic Leader Masterclass. I'll be sharing with you the 3 characteristics, also essential skills you need to be a charismatic leader. How do you develop your skill or your charisma as a leader? So we will talk about the how. Alright? We'll also talk a little bit about the how. Alright? Remember, admission is free. You can just come, just join. Choose any one of those dates. Come in, sit in and learn. Okay? Take this opportunity while it lasts to be the charismatic leader that you can be. If I could choose to be anyone, I would still be a charismatic leader. Today, I'm also training many leaders to be charismatic as well, to work on their charisma. So if you're interested to learn, to go deeper into the subject, come and talk to me after this segment. Okay? So just scan here. You'll be taken to an Eventbrite. You can click on and choose the date that you want. Alright? And with that, thank you all so much. Back to you, Toastmaster.